same number of electrons but having different nuclear charge. They are called as isoelectronic species. There will be lesser force of attraction between nucleus and outermost shell. So electronegativity decreases along the group, increases along the period. It's a change in enthalpy when electron is added to neutral gaseous atom. Hello everyone, I am Venu Prasad, Department of Chemistry, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Today I am going to do Unit 3, Classification of Elements and Periodicity in Properties, Session 3. Okay, let us study today isoelectronic species. What are isoelectronic species? Electronegativity, electron gain enthalpy and its variation in periodic table. Next, valency, oxidation state, diagonal relationship and nature of oxides. First of all, let us see what is isoelectronic species and its definition. These are the species having same number of electrons but having different nuclear charge. They are called as isoelectronic species. Okay, let us write the definition here. Species having same number of electrons but different nuclear charge. They are called as isoelectronic species. For example, sodium, magnesium and aluminum, let us. Okay, what is the atomic number of sodium? Sodium's atomic number is 11. Okay, we have given here same number of electrons but different nuclear charge. So we can say that it is a isoelectronic species. Here sodium has got how much? Its atomic number is 11. But when it is in the ionic state for sodium ion, it has got 10. Correct, right? It has lost one electron. We can say it is 10. Okay. Next thing is magnesium. What is the atomic number of magnesium? Is 12. Mg2 plus. What is the atomic number of magnesium? It is 12. It has lost 2 electrons. So it will be 10. Now let us see aluminium. Al. What is the atomic number of aluminium? Its atomic number is 13. Okay. I am removing 3 electrons. Al 3 plus. So it will be 10. Different atomic number but same number of electrons. They are called as isoelectronic species. Next thing is electronegativity. What do you mean by electronegativity? It's a tendency to attract a shade pair of electron towards itself. Okay, now let us write the definition. It is defined as a tendency to attract shade pair of electron towards itself. This is called as electronegativity. Okay. Now let us study how does it vary in a periodic table. In periodic table, 2 we should study. First thing is along period and second one is down the group. If you are studying electronegativity along the period, what will happen? Electronegativity along the period increases. Electronegativity can be represented as En. Electronegativity increases along the period. Why it is increasing along the period? Because electrons are added to same shell. When electrons are added to same shell, what will happen? Force of attraction between the nucleus and outermost shell will be very larger force of attraction will be there. between nucleus and outermost shell. Okay, so electronegativity increases. So we can say effective nuclear charge increases along the period. Next thing is electronegativity. How does it vary down the group? Here also atomic number increases along the group. Okay, along the group atomic number increases. Along the period what? Here this is period, this is group. Here electron negativity we should think. Okay, here atomic number increases along the group also, in period also it increases, but here electronegativity what we have to think? Electronegativity increases, but along the group electronegativity decreases. Why? Because as atomic number increases, electrons are added to different subshell. When electrons are added to different subshell, what will happen? Here there will be lesser force of attraction between nucleus and outermost shell. So electronegativity decreases along the group, increases along the period. Next thing is electron gain enthalpy. It's a change in enthalpy when electron is added to neutral gaseous atom. Okay, that is known as electron gain enthalpy. Now let us consider one example. Chlorine is in the gaseous state. Okay, and I will add one electron to the chlorine. I'll add one electron to the chlorine. What will happen? It will convert from chlorine to chloride anion. What is the atomic number of chlorine? It is 17. If you supply one electron to the chlorine, it becomes chloride ion and it is fully filled. So what we can say that it's a change in enthalpy when electron is added to isolated neutral gaseous atom. Then it is considered as electron gain enthalpy. Okay. So now let us study how does it vary along the periodic table. How does it vary along the period? First thing let us study, we should study about along the period. What will happen along the period? As atomic number increases, what will happen? Electrons are added to same shell. Here electrons are added to same shell, correct, right? Electrons are added to same shell and effective nuclear charge increases. Effective nuclear charge increases. When it increases, what will happen? Here atomic number increases, electrons are added to same shell, effective nuclear charge increases, and which one we should think? Atomic size, what will happen to atomic size? Atomic size decreases. Atomic size decreases means electron gain enthalpy increases. But along the group, if we are going along the group, here also atomic number increases. But atomic size, what will happen? Atomic size, whether it increases or decreases. Atomic size also increases. Effective nuclear charge decreases because electrons are added to different subshell. So we can say that electron gain enthalpy decreases. Okay, this is the concept along group and period. Okay, next thing is valency. What do you mean by valency? Valency means it is always the representing the element. Okay, representative elements in generally equal to either number of electrons in the valence shell. It's a general representation of how much electrons are present in the valence shell. So then it is considered as valency. Okay, see now group 1 they have said. For group 1, how much number of valence electrons are present? Only one. Valency or oxidation state. How much valency or oxidation state? It has got only one for group 1 elements. Okay. Next for group 2, it has got 2 valence electrons in the outermost shell and its oxidation is 2. When you are coming for 13, group 13 elements, how much electrons are present? It has got 3, but its oxidation state is also 3. Group 14, it is 4 and its oxidation state is also 4. Group 15, it is 5, but its oxidation state is 5 or 3. Okay. Next, group 16. Group 16 is which one? Oxygen. So its valence electron is 6 and its oxidation state is 6 or 2. Group 17. Group 17 is which one? Halogens. Its atomic number or valence shell is 7. Number of electrons present in valence shell is 7 and its valency of or oxidation state is 7 or 1 because it requires 1 electrons to fulfill its outermost shell. Correct, right? So chloride, for chlorine, its atomic number is 17. If you add 1 electron to it, it becomes chloride anion and it is completely filled and it is most stable. Group 18, they are called as inert gas. So its number of valence electron is 8 and its valency or oxidation state is 8 or its oxidation state is 0. Okay. Next thing is the electrons present in outermost shell of an atom are called valence electrons. Electrons present in outermost shell, then it is considered as valence electron. First thing is number of these electrons determines the valency of the atom, how much electrons are present. On that basis we can say that this element has got this much valency. Second thing is the outermost shell is called the valence shell. Outermost shell is called valence shell. Next thing is for noble gases valency is 0 because it is fully filled. Next thing is as we move down the group, what will happen? Number of valence electrons remains same. As we move down the group, number of electrons, valence electrons remain same, but therefore they show same valency. Along the group, electrons remain same. Valence electrons present in outermost shell remain same. So they show same valency, but along the period it differs. Okay. Next thing is oxidation state. What do you mean by oxidation state? It is the number of electron lost or gained to convert an atom to its ion. Number of electron lost or gained to convert an atom to its ionic state. So that is known as oxidation state. Okay. Now let us calculate some oxidation state of some elements. Okay. For example, let us consider this complex. This is hexaaqua ferrate 2. Hexaaqua ferrate 2. Okay. So now let us calculate the oxidation state of iron in this complex. So I have to calculate the oxidation state of iron in this complex, right? So I have to take x plus 6 into 0 is equal to 2. So x is equal to 2. So oxidation state of iron in hexaaqua ferrate 2 complex is plus 2. Okay. Now let us calculate FeCN6 2 minus. Okay. I have to calculate the oxidation state of iron in hexacyanoferrate 2 ion. Okay. So x plus 6 into minus 1 is equal to minus 2. So x minus 6 is equal to minus 2. X is equal to minus 2 plus 6. X is equal to 4. So oxidation state of iron in FeCN6 2 minus is plus 4. Okay. Next thing is FeCl4. If we are calculating the same complex, I am taking different ligands here. Okay. Here, if you want to calculate iron's oxidation state is, it is a weak ligand. So it is minus 1 is equal to 0, x minus 4 is equal to 0, x is equal to 4. This is the oxidation state of iron in tetrachloroferrate 2 ion. Okay. Next thing, let us study diagonal relationship. What do you mean by diagonal relationship? It is the sum of the elements of the second period show similar properties with the elements. It shows similar property with the elements of third period placed diagonally. That is referred as diagonal relationship. Okay. Here some elements of second period show similar properties with the elements of third period which is placed diagonally. Means second period and third period two elements are there. So what we have to do, they show the similar properties. Which element shows the similar properties of second and third period, which is placed diagonally? Okay, then it is considered as diagonal relationship. Okay, here some elements of second period show similar properties like third period. Okay, then we should think that of which elements, which type elements, which are the elements which are placed diagonally, then we should say that it is a showing diagonal relationship. Okay, just we should think only the elements of second period and third period show similar properties which are placed diagonally, then it is considered as diagonal relationship. Here you see beryllium and aluminium and boron and silicon. Okay, next thing is the elements placed diagonally to each other show what type of properties? Resemblance. Show resemblance in their properties. They show resemblance in their properties. We should think that. Next, such relationship is called diagonal relationship. Okay. Next, on moving diagonally, two different strands mutually cancel each other. They cancel each other. Next, therefore, these elements are listed above are related to each other. They show similar properties. So they are related to each other. Then it is called as diagonal relationship between lithium and magnesium, beryllium and aluminium, and boron and silicon. They show similar properties. So we say that they have got diagonal relationship. Okay. Next thing is nature of oxides. What do you mean by nature of oxides? These are the oxides of elements. Oxides of elements are extreme left, means in left of the periodic table are always oxides. They forms oxides, and most basic. Okay, here left side of the periodic table they form oxides and they form basic. We should know that. Which are type of elements? Sodium oxide and oxides of elements are right. Now let us take the elements which is present at right of the periodic table are acidic. So we can say that Cl2O7. Okay, they are called as acidic. And oxides at the center of the periodic table, they show amphoteric in nature, means they act like both acids and bases. So they are called as amphoteric. Okay, and or neutral we can say. First thing what you have to say, the elements which is present left side of the periodic table, they are always forms oxides, but they forms basic. They are most basic. We should know that. Second thing, the elements which is present at the right of the periodic table are acidic. Okay, they are acidic. Next thing, the elements which is present at the center of the periodic table, they show amphoteric in nature. They are amphoteric in nature. What do you mean by amphoteric in nature? Elements which shows the properties of both acidic and basic. So they are called as amphoteric. Okay. So now let us see here. Sodium oxide. Sodium oxide is treated with water molecule. It forms sodium hydroxide. They form sodium hydroxide and it is basic in nature. Okay. Next thing, Cl2O7 plus H2O, elements which is at right of the periodic table. Okay. So Cl2O7 plus H2O, we will get HCl4 perchlorate. Okay. So they are called as acidic. Okay. Next, elements which is present at center of the periodic table, they are amphoteric in nature. So Al2O3 reacts with HCl. Al2O3 reacts with HCl to form aluminium chloride. Okay. Then we will get water molecule. Next thing you see here, Al2O3, aluminium oxide, reacts with sodium hydroxide in the presence of water molecule. In the presence of water molecule, we will get sodium aluminium hydroxide. Sodium aluminium hydroxide. Okay. Here you see it forms complex. So it is amphoteric in nature. Okay. But here you see the elements which is at left of the periodic table, they forms basic and they are forms basic. But in the presence of elements which is present at right side of the periodic table, that is halogens, if they are made to react with water molecule, we will get acidic in nature. Okay. This is all about the classification of periodicity of some elements. Okay. Thank you.